In the Florida Keys, please go ahead with your question for Dr. Kaku.
Hi, Dr. Kaku. What a pleasure to finally say hello.
How you doing?
My husband and I have always practiced the art of manifestation, and that's the power of positive thinking. Actually, I have a small theory of reality equals intention over energy, and I followed your shows for many years instead of going on dates. I have to say that I don't understand if we know that in experiments the observer observing affects the outcome. How come the rest of the world doesn't understand our message to you is how come they cannot make change happen? How come we have terrorism and negative thoughts? What can we do to affect change that we need if we are indeed co-creators with God or the energy?
All right, we got the idea, Rhonda. Well, Dr. Kaku.
Well, you asked a lot of very interesting questions. First of all, you're right about positive thinking. As former President Eisenhower once said, a pessimist never won a war. A pessimist never won a battle. Pessimists do not make history. History is made by the optimists who dared to challenge, to be able to unveil the secrets of Mother Nature. So first, we have to have the will, we have to have the curiosity, we have to have the preparation. And you mentioned intention and energy. Yes, you have to have the energy. You have to make the investment in order to make these things possible. And you have to have the intention. But so many times we have people who don't like that. People who feel comfortable being 500 years into the past. People who like theology. People who believe that the word of nature comes not from nature, the word of nature comes from a book. And I'd like to tell this story that I mentioned in my next book, Physics of the Future, coming out in March. If you were an alien coming to the Earth in the year 1500, the year is now 1500, and you're an alien from Mars landing on the Earth, what civilization do you think would eventually dominate the Earth? The Europeans, the Muslims, or the Chinese? Who do you think would dominate? Well, the answer would be obvious. Anyone but the Europeans. The Europeans were mired in the Inquisition. They were torturing their finest scientists, burning their heretics. They were mired in the past. And then you had the great Chinese Empire, discoverers of gunpowder, the compass. You had the huge armies of the Muslim Empire. They were the ones who created algebra. Al, it's the word the in Arabic. The stars were named Algol, Altair by the Arabs. They had optics. They had algebra. They had mathematics. So why did the Europeans eventually prosper? And the answer is very simple. The Chinese turned inward. They created one of the biggest fleets known to humanity in the 1400s and then burned the boats. They turned inward. Same thing with the Muslim Empire. They began to look for words of wisdom not from nature but from the book, the Koran. They turned inward. While Europe realized the power of science, technology, steam engines, the Industrial Revolution, electricity, and now we see the differences in the fortunes. So why am I speaking English today? Why am I not speaking Chinese? It's because of science. And we have to understand the power of science, that Europe was the backwash of civilization in 1500. It was a net importer of technology, not exporter. Europe was a net importer of technology, mired in the Inquisition, but it was the beginning of the Renaissance, and that's why I'm speaking English to you today.
Rather